discovered that some of you are fearful of snakes. I am appalled at this claim. I thought you saw me as something to fantasize about. No matter. This is the perfect opportunity to exploit your fears. Giant snakes from your worst nightmares. In February 2009, scientists announced they had uncovered the 60-million-year-old remains of what they felt free to declare as the largest snake that had ever lived on Earth. The Titanoboa, as the researchers named the reptile, was estimated to have been 43 feet long and to have weighed 1 ton. Among the bones found in the ancient rainforest in Colombia was skeletal evidence that the monstrous snake was capable of munching on a crocodile. When researchers announced their finding in December 2009, a team of paleontologists had unearthed several massive fossil snake vertebrae in a Colombian coal mine. As one of the reads in the findings published in Nature, one's first impulse may be to shudder and wonder aloud, can you imagine a snake large enough to swallow a crocodile? Actually, we don't have to venture into the rainforest of Colombia to find the bones of such a serpent. We don't have to use our imaginations. All we have to do is travel to the Bay Area of Florida and keep an eye out for the Burmese pythons that have invaded the state and that can strangle and eat an entire alligator. Oh, and did we mention that we don't have a time machine to take us back 60 million years? We don't need one. The Burmese pythons, one of the several non-native giant constrictor snakes, are waiting, hungry for its prey today. The pythons were introduced into the wild a few years ago, primarily by pet owners who decided that the exotic reptile was only a few feet long when they bought it as a pet, was now beginning to grow a great deal larger. And not only was it looking less cuddlesome, it was costing a lot more money to feed it. Undoubtedly, most python owners had no malice toward their once colorful pet when they decided to get rid of the creature that was eating them out of the house and home. Perhaps the python had grown a length of 5 or 6 feet and no longer fit in the aquarium. Or maybe it was 9 or 10 feet long and eyeing the baby hungrily. Then there was the uncomfortable fact that some of the neighbors were asking, in harsh tones, if anyone had ever seen their missing dogs. But once that python slid from the hands of its owner into Florida waters, that creature was on its way to reaching 26 feet in length, and to becoming as thick as a telephone pole. It was also on its way to finding a mate and breeding, producing a python community of thousands on a time schedule that seems unbelievable to compare to the reproductive states of other creatures. Each female python can lay up to 100 eggs at a time when it's in the wild. Experts state that irresponsible python and exotic snake owners are not the only ones to blame. Hurricanes and rainstorms flooded pet shops and allowed the non-native serpents to flee their cages and look for themselves in an unfamiliar environment. It seems that the strangers have been highly adaptable to their new home. In 2008, the giant snakes were reported making their way from Florida to the Bay Area. Zoologist Gordon Rada of U.S. Geological Survey said that they had not identified any method that would stop snakes from spreading to the Bay Area. Weighing about 250 pounds and moving at a rate of 20 miles per month, the pythons had comfortably established themselves in Florida's Everglades National Park, and were soon slithering into other areas. When Steve Rubenstein, staff writer for The Chronicle, wrote his article in February 2001, Park rangers had estimated 30,000 pythons and other non-native snakes living in the Everglades. A python had turned out on the shore of Lake Okeechobee in south central Florida, and others had slithered as far as Vero Beach and Key Largo. In January 2010, 5 African rock pythons, including a 14th female, were found in Miami-Dade County. Experts fear that the rock python could breed with the Burmese python and create a super snake. I plan on meeting this super snake in the near future. If you hear a hissing tonight, sadly, it won't be me. Off to bed with you now, dearies.